So if you want to find out what my #1 flat ride is in the whole world, then watch this video all the way until the end, because it could literally be any flat ride I've ever been on. I've actually been on quite a few of them, but it could be any of them. So at number 10 we have Detonator at Thorpe Park, and this is one of the tallest drop towers I've ever been on, even though I've only been on like 3 of them. But yes, Detonator is the main drop tower at Thorpe Park, and it is 115 foot tall, and it's really intense. I mean, it's a really tall drop tower, and the thing I love about it is that when you get to the top, it holds you there, and it does a countdown, and sometimes it drops at 1, but other times it could drop you literally before or after it gets to 1. Like there's one time I went on it, it got to 1, many seconds later it was saying your attention, the gondola is about to drop, and then it dropped. It's really cool, and that's what makes it really scary, because it teases you every single time, and it's brilliant. So yes, Detonator at Thorpe Park is at number 10 of best flat rides, and now on to number 9. So at number 9 we have Soaring Around the World at Epcot, and I know what you're thinking. Please do not go to the comments and say Soaring isn't a flat ride, it's a dark ride. Well, I know a lot of you consider it as a dark ride, but personally, my opinion on what I think as dark rides, as like things like Jewel Alton Towers or Rise of the Resistance at Walt Disney World, or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure at Epcot, you know, things like that, things that are like indoors with moving ride cars that go around a specific circuit, things like that. So to me, Soaring counts as a flat ride, but it is a very immersive flat ride. It's basically, there's actually a few of these around the world at the moment. The most recent one I can think of is there's actually a new one at Legoland Windsor, which is the first. These rides are known as flying theatres, and it's the first flying theatre in the UK. It's at Lego Mythica, Flight of the Skyline it's called, and I haven't been on it yet, but hopefully, I'm just going to say, I will still be making YouTube videos as an adult, so hopefully one day I'll get back to Legoland and experience Lego Mythica for myself. You sit in a gondola, and it takes you up to this massive 360 screen, and to make you think you're flying around the world, and it's absolutely immersive. It used to be flying over America, but then they updated it a few years ago to be flying around the world. It's just so immersive. I absolutely love this ride. It's one of the best rides at Disney World, and I love this ride so much. You get to see a lot of places around the world that some of them I didn't even know existed before. And in case you love finding hidden Mickeys, if you love that at Disney World, there's actually 2 of these on the ride. There's one where you're flying through Death Valley, and there's hot air balloons, and there's 2 that make up the ears and 1 makes up the face. And there's one at the end where it goes back to Epcot, and there's fireworks, and 2 of the fireworks above Spaceship Earth make a Mickey Mouse head. So there's a little Easter egg for you. Yeah, Soaring is one of the best rides I've ever been on. Not just best flat ride, but also one of the best rides, period. And yeah, Soaring at Epcot is number 9, and now on to number 8. So at number 8, we have Quantum at Thorpe Park, and now I know this ride, a lot of you is not your favourite, but this ride is actually quite underrated. Actually, I went on it last year for the first time, and it's actually quite intense. I mean, it's obviously not as intense as some of the other rides at some of the other flat rides at Thorpe Park, but it is still quite intense for a ride which I thought was going to be more of a family ride. It's basically, as you're seeing right here, it's like a magic carpet ride. It goes all the way around the top of the ride, and it is actually quite insane. You've got a lot of G-forces, especially when you're going like over the top and back down again. It is really cool. I love it so much. And like I said, it's quite an underrated ride, and for some reason, towards the end of the season at Thorpe Park, it always breaks down and closes, and everyone thinks it's going to be closed forever, when the next season it's open again. I don't know why they do that. I don't know if it's because of like maintenance or anything like that, but it always closes at the end of every single season. Everyone thinks it's going to be closed forever, but it's not. It's open the next season, which is really confusing. But yes, Quantum at Thorpe Park is number 8, and now on to number 7. So at number 7 we have the Blade at Alton Towers, and this is a pirate ship ride located in the Forbidden Valley area, just opposite Nemesis. And I've actually been on a few of these rides. I've been on this, I've been on the Blue Barnacle at Chessington, I've been on the Banana Ride at Fort Park, which is more of a smaller one, and I've been on the one at Legoland, which I haven't been on in years, to be honest. But yes, the Blade, out of all of them, this is my favourite one. And I don't know why, it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously the most recent one is that I've been on is the Blue Barnacle, and that's got more theme and it's got an on-ride soundtrack. And but for some reason I like this better just because of the feel of it. It's probably because it's the first one I've been on, at least since the one at Legoland, which I went on years before. This is my favourite one because of just the way it feels. And also it's really quite intense as well. And it's just amazing, I just love it. So yeah, Blade at Alton Towers is number 7, and now on to number 6. So at number 6 we have Enterprise, also at Alton Towers. And this ride is absolutely insane. It is located at Alton Towers, and it is a ride model literally just known as an Enterprise. And you might be thinking, because I've been to Fort Park, whether I've been on Zodiac at Fort Park. Well, unfortunately I haven't been on that one yet, but it's pretty much the same as Enterprise. And this is my favourite Enterprise ride. I mean, I don't know what Zodiac is like, but it's pretty much the same thing. But I love this ride so much because you start spinning on a gondola attached to a wheel, and then it tips you upwards, so basically going upside down. And I absolutely love this ride. And I love how it's located basically in the final turnaround for Oblivion. That's a cool interaction point on the ride. I just love this ride so much. It's obviously one of my favourite flat rides that I've been on. And it is really intense as well. When you're going around the ride, you get so many G-forces. And I just absolutely love it. It's one of the oldest rides at Alton Towers as well. I think it only opened back in like 1984 or something. So it's one of the older rides at Alton Towers. But yeah, Enterprise at Alton Towers is number 6, and now on to number 5. So we've now reached the top 5, and at number 5 we have Vortex at Fort Park, and this ride is absolutely crazy. And I think this ride is a KMG afterburner, I'm not sure, feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But it's basically a ride, it's like the Blade, but much steeper, and it spins, and it's really insane. I've only been on this ride once, and it was at the end of the Fort Park vlog I did a couple of months ago. But I just love this ride so much. It's really crazy. I mean, obviously the weird thing about it is when you're boarding it, for some reason all the restraints lower at once by themselves, which is, I've never seen that on any ride before. It's really strange. And you kind of have to brace yourself for when it happens. Oh wait, I think I have seen it before. I think it's on a ride that's later on in the list. But I just love this ride so much. It's really intense. The G-forces you get on it are insane. I love the spinning aspect of it as well. It's absolutely... There used to be one of these at Flamingo Land. It was called Flip Flop, and unfortunately never got a chance to go on it. Except the seats faced outwards rather than inwards, you could see more. But I think they've sold it, unfortunately. That's really sad. But I've been on this one and it is amazing. So yeah, Vortex at Fort Park is number 5, and now on to number 4. So at number 4 we have Rush at Fort Park, and this ride is an S&S Screaming Swing, and this is the only one I've ever been on. I'm pretty sure it's the only one in the UK. And it is absolutely insane. Once again, it's like the Blade, but much steeper, and also there's 2 of them going opposite ways, and I absolutely love that. And it's absolutely insane. You get some amazing views when you're on the rides. Literally, when I went on it, I could literally see the sun. I was sat on the one on the left, and I could literally see the sun because I was going slightly beyond vertical on the ride. It was amazing, and I just absolutely love it. It's really intense as well. Did I mention that? I mean, it's not the longest ride in the world, as you can see. This clip is only just lasted like about a minute. But it's really cool. So yeah, Rush at Fort Park is number 4, and now on to number 3. So at number 3 we have Croc Drop at Chessington World of Adventures. You might be wondering, Why have I ranked this higher than Detonator? Well, even though Detonator is taller and faster, it only has one drop, and Croc Drop, even though it's smaller and slower, it has more drops and it's more of an experience, and it has more theming, which I really love about it. I mean, the story is evil spirits have possessed Sobek, which is the god of the Nile, and you have to brave the drop to release the curse. And I love that story so much, and it's a really immersive ride. And obviously when you're dropping into the jaws of Sobek, that's when you're trying to release the curse, and it's just absolutely, I love this story so much. And it is probably one of the first major additions to be added to Chessington in years. The last one I can think of is probably like Dragon's Fury or Cobra. The stuff that's done in the last couple of years are either re-themes or smaller rides. But yeah, this is amazing. And Croc Drop at Chessington is number 3, and now on to number 2. So at number 2 we have Mixtape at Alton Towers, and this ride is my favourite out of the new Retro Squad rides at Alton Towers. And you might be thinking, this is only temporarily here for this season. Well, it is, but obviously when it's done at Alton Towers, it won't be demolished, it will be sent to other fun fairs. And besides, with the amount of popularity these rides have gotten recently, they might just consider keeping them. But yes, basically the Retro Squad rides are 3 different like fun fair rides that have been located at Alton Towers. They've got like all 80s theme in, because I assume fun fair rides were the most popular in the 80s, and obviously that's when Alton Towers opened. And these are actually really cool rides. I mean, some people have said that these rides don't fit in the theme park that they're at because they're all 80s themed, and like there's one in X Sector, which is what the Mixtape. There's one in Forbidden Valley, which is Funk and Fly. There's one in Dark Forest, which is Roller Disco. But there's obviously a lot of people that think these rides are brilliant for the park, and I also think these are brilliant as well. You can see Mixtape is the best one because it's basically like a spinning. There's like 12 arms on it, and it spins around, and the arms just drop you up and down. It's just absolutely amazing. You get loads of airtime on it as well. Yes, you can get airtime on flat rides, and I love it. Basically, it's also caused some people to laugh because it is just that hilarious. And also, it's playing 8 songs from the 80s while you're on the ride, and it is just brilliant. So yes, Mixtape at Alton Towers is number 2, and before we get to number 1, please make sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and comment when it's seen the next video, as I upload video almost every single day. And now, finally, on to number 1. So we have finally reached number 1, and my number 1 favourite flat ride in the entire world, at least the one that I've been on, is Hex, The Legend of the Towers, also at Alton Towers. And like I said earlier with Soaring, you might consider this as a dark ride, but I mentioned what I consider as a dark ride earlier on, so to me this is a flat ride. But it's my favourite one out of all of them. Basically what this is a Vekoma Madhouse ride, where you basically sit in a seat in a room, and the room starts spinning upside down. And it is crazy, it is absolutely psychotic. And this, out of all the rides I've named, this is probably the only one that's based on a true story. So basically the story of Hex is, the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury in 1821, he was in his carriage on his way back to Alton Towers when a mysterious person stood in the road, and she asked the Earl for a coin, but he cruelly dismissed this old woman. So she screamed out a curse, and this curse was, for every branch of the old oak tree that fell, a member of the Earl's family would die. And then that exact same night, there was a massive lightning storm, and then one bolt of lightning struck the old oak tree, and the branch fell off. And somehow one of the members of the Earl's family suddenly died. And then the next morning, he ordered all of his servants to chain up every single remaining branch from the tree in order to prevent more deaths. And if you want proof, go to the forest, and the tree with the chains is real. There is actually chains around it. It is crazy. and that's obviously what this ride is based on. But yeah, it's brilliant. Yes, I want to thank you all very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, then please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment what you'd like to see in the next video. Bye!